In this section, we will review the history of transeptal puncture, when it was first performed and where we stand today. We will also review the technological developments that made it possible and made this transeptal puncture as the centerpiece of all structural heart disease interventions. The history of transeptal puncture takes us to the mid-20th century in New York at the Bellevue Hospital. Bellevue Hospital is the same place where Dr. Halsted began his illustrious surgical career and set the standards of medical training and education for the rest of the century, and some of them are practiced even today. Interestingly, it is also the location of filming of the television series The Nick that portrays practice of medicine in New York in mid-19th century, with Clive Owen playing the character of Dr. Thackeray, that is loosely based on Dr. Halsted's life. Well, coming back to the transeptal puncture, it is here where the first transeptal puncture was reported in 3 patients who had pre-existing atrial septal defect by Dr. Cornyn et al. These investigators were able to cross the atrial septal and record LA pressures in all these patients. Whereas the value of LA recording was reported and immediately appreciated, there was no direct anatomical access to the left atrium. Multiple groups attempted innovative anatomical access routes to record LA pressures. There was this bronchoscopic method, when the left atrium was accessed through the right mainstem bronchus while the patient underwent rigid bronchoscopy. Then the suprasternal method, where a needle was inserted in the suprasternal notch into the mediastinum and into the left atrium. And finally, the paraspinal method, in which fluoroscopically a needle was inserted into the posterior paraspinal space in the thoracic region to access the left atrium through the mediastinum. Obviously, these methods were complex, invasive, and based on assumptions of normal cardiac and mediastinum anatomy, and were associated with some morbidity. Fortunately, they didn't become very popular and were soon replaced by another method that was based on understanding of the development and anatomy of the intraatrial septum. In mid-1950s, at the National Institute of Health, using a special needle, Doctors Ross, Brownwell, and Morrow demonstrated the feasibility of crossing the intraatrial septum without any complications from the right atrium. They reported their results initially in dogs and then in about 130 patients. The key to their procedure was crossing of the intraatrial septum at the fossa ovalis that prevented any entry into the extracardiac space. We will discuss this important point further in the embryology and anatomy section of the transeptal workshop. Transeptal puncture since then has been traditionally performed through the femoral vein, since the internal jugular route does not provide a good trajectory to the right atrium and intraatrial septal crossing. However, the initial adoption of the transeptal puncture was hugely overshadowed by the rapid development of the right-sided flow-directed PA catheter, through which the LA pressures could be indirectly estimated, but with a degree of accuracy. And since its earliest description, the transeptal puncture was initially limited to arrhythmia-related access to the left atrium and for performing mitral valvuloplasties. Only in the 1990s, with the introduction of structural heart disease techniques, that there has been a resurgence of interest in transeptal puncture. Complex interventions required precision and accuracy, with procedure-specific site selection for transeptal puncture, and value of expertise in this technique has been appreciated both for the interventionalists as well as echocardiographers. However, there was simultaneous development of another important technological modality, and that is the transesophageal echo. It was initially used as a monitoring modality during cardiac surgery, but has gradually assumed the role of a vital procedural adjunct during cardiac surgery and structural heart disease interventions. The timeline of the rapid growth of structural heart disease interventions runs parallel with the advancements in transesophageal echocardiography, and particularly with the ready availability of real-time 3-dimensional volumetric imaging. Since then, there has been an exponential growth of structural heart disease interventions both in numbers and complexity. This interaction of technologies and our ability to provide synchronous imaging to our interventionists during crossing of the intraatrial septum will be the focus of this transeptal puncture workshop. Enjoy.